Scout.com's Sam Hellman here with national recruiting analyst Brian Doan, talking Syracuse recruiting, and there's some big names out there, so let's get them first. Chad Mavety, Thomas Holly, both New York kids right now. How's Syracuse doing there?
Well, I mean, they're big-time kids. Mavety's a JUCO offensive lineman. Thomas Holly, four-star D tackle out of New York. Look, I think it's going to be a haul for Syracuse on both of them, but you never say never in recruiting. You know, Mavety, Ohio State's locked on him pretty hard. They've kind of pushed back on a couple other kids to focus on Mavety. Thomas Holly, you look at the fact that he chose to visit officially Ohio State, officially visit Penn State. He's still keeping Syracuse in the mix. He's got some friends that go to school there, but he really isn't talking much about official visits there right now. I think I think Thomas is doing the right thing in keeping the local program, the in-state program involved, but I think Syracuse has a lot of work in that one.
Well, Syracuse needs cornerbacks, and I've got three of them for you right now. Mike Johnson from Florida, Cordell Hudson from Florida, and Deion Hallman from Florida.
Oh,
Syracuse is recruiting all three of these guys, and all three of them have some pretty interesting recruitments. What do you see there, and what does Syracuse do?
Well, what I see, and you well know this, from covering Florida recruiting, is if any of them commit, it's still going to be finger-biting time to see what happens. Deion Hallman, kid who committed to Rutgers, decommitted when he told Rutgers he wanted to take some official visits, and Rutgers said, well, if you take some official visits, we're not considering you committed. So he decommitted. He's looking at Syracuse, and I think Syracuse has a chance with him. There's a need there. He can move up to the Northeast, play very quickly, and I think that's something that really intrigues him. And I know, and you know this too from talking to him, he has a good relationship with the staff there. You look at Cordell Hudson, another Florida kid, Largo High. He's a little bit more methodical in what he's doing. From Florida standards, he's a laid-back, easy recruit to deal with.
He's a little less Florida than the other kids.
Yes, and by that we mean that, his top five doesn't change daily. His visit dates don't change every 4 seconds. But I think, again, Syracuse is pushing hard. They're able to sell him on the fact that, hey, we're in the ACC. We're going to come down into Florida. We're going to play some games down there. Your family's going to be able to see us, see you play. They're going to see you on TV all the time on the ACC network. There's a need. It's a very good school. And that's important to Cordell, is a good academic school. And then you look at Mike Johnson. He's another guy. It's the same kind of selling point. It's the Florida stuff of being able to get down there. And look, I know from watching Syracuse, I'd like to see more speed from them on defense, especially in the secondary. And if they can get one of those kids good, if they can get two of those kids, that would be outstanding, because I think it upgrades their speed back there.
Well, Penn State got scholarships back, and that was bad news for Syracuse, which lost Jason Kabinda, a linebacker from New Jersey, to Penn State. What do they do next?
They've thrown a pretty big net around just looking for another linebacker, but I'm going to give you one that is kind of intriguing to me, and it's Demetrius Johnson, who's right now he plays safety and receiver out of Annapolis Christian. And when I've talked to people just about his recruitment and what's gone on with him, everybody says kind of the same thing. Hey, he's 6'2", 190, and one day he's going to be a 6'2", 220-pound linebacker. Weak side linebacker, can run all over the place and make plays. He's got Syracuse in his top four. It's also with Marshall, Old Dominion, and Maryland. I know those names aren't like, wow, we're going to, you can beat out some big-time teams, but there's some other issues. He's got to get some academic stuff squared away that he's working really hard on. I think he'll be okay with. And he's kind of removed out in Annapolis Christian, and a lot of people don't recruit that school. And you know how recruiting is, Sam. You get your targets so early on that a lot of them aren't going to go revisit a kid like that or deal with it early in the process. He's a nice kid. The coach is a great guy down there. I really think that if Syracuse wants to push for him and decide, yeah, we want to take him and he wants to go there, I think it could be a real intriguing and really good find by that staff.
All right, we're talking Syracuse recruiting with national recruiting analyst Brian Doan. Thanks for stopping by.